Hello and welcome to another episode of the SMEFocus show brought to you by FactoryNOW TV. I'm your host, Christopher Greenough, and in this series we will focus on SMEs within the British manufacturing sector. Every week we will be meeting manufacturers to discuss and analyse the opportunities and challenges for industry in these unprecedented times. I have worked in the sector for over 26 years, and I'm CCO at SDE Technology, one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. So this show is very much for manufacturers by manufacturers. My guest today is Sergey Guskov, and he is Sales and Distribution Manager at Nordson Industrial Coating. Sergey, nice to see you. Long time no see, and we are more and more on these virtual meetings. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for inviting me, Chris, and I hope you're doing well yourself.
Absolutely. 2020 has been quite a disruptive year. We'll get onto that very shortly. So tell me about Nordson Industrial Coatings and what is it they do, and more importantly, what your role is with them.
Well, what we do is we are an international company working in multiple sectors of economies, from medical equipment to testing and inspection. One of our divisions is based in the UK called DAGE. They're very much into non-destructive testing. And I work for a division called Industrial Coating Systems. And what we do is we combine powder coating, liquid paint equipment, but we also deal in some UV curing technology. Every time you open a can of beverage or a can of peas, there is a coating inside applied with our equipment. So it's another little niche market for us. And another part of our division is application of cold materials like sealants, single or plural component materials, which are applied at more or less ambient temperatures. So my 90% of my work is related to finishing industry, to getting metal products, or now these days also non-metal products, painted or powder coated. And with the, especially in metal fabrication industry, the percentage of liquid paint has been diminishing over the years since the introduction of powder coating back in the 70s. So powder coating is a major part of our business, and this is also my personal passion.
And that's how we first met. So in 2012, SDE put in the first of what is now 2 Nordson powder coating lines. And in terms of diversifying, what is it that Nordson can help SMEs with?
Well, diversification is important for any company operating in a competitive market. And I always advise people to look at the value chain of your customers and your place in that value chain, whether it's your products or services. And are you able to shorten any link in that chain by either reducing cost or increasing the value? And Chris, as you mentioned, Solid Design and Engineering has experience adding yet another service to your product offering. And with the addition of the powder coating, you turned yourself from just pressings and fabrication company to a much broader range offering. It not only improved your value to your customers, but it also diversified your customer base, reduced your dependence on any single sector in the economy. So in overall, it just strengthened you as a business. And this is the way to go in my view. So for companies, if you're just metal fabrication, for example, or furniture fabrication, whatever you do, if you can add another link to that value chain, you become a stronger overall link for your customers. So if you already have finishing capabilities, is there anything that we can bring to the next level by offering next best technology or helping you streamline your operation. Even simple things like so many cases where people are just afraid to ask, or they think that everything is fine. And then we enter the plant and we find out that so many things can be improved. Very recent example, some years ago, I visited a very well-known company in UK called Garador. And we looked at their processes, and I saw some areas of improvements which they didn't realize they could implement. And what's interesting, that several years have passed, and then they called us and said, "We remember that visit. Can we resume that discussion?" And these days, a brand new finishing system with robots and high level of automation is operating at Garador, increasing their value in the chain.
Fantastic. Well, you know me, I'm certainly not afraid to ask those silly questions, and if I think it can improve things, then I always ask. How important is it that you keep pushing the boundaries in terms of new technology with Nordson?
It's cannot be underestimated, right? And I would broaden it. It's not just technology, because we aim to deliver greater value. We operate in a very competitive environment, just like as many of your viewers and listeners. So finding that little extra that sets us aside, apart from the competition, continuing your subject of diversification. So technology development helps us diversify from our competitors, but it also, for sure, it's not for the sake of diversification. It's for the sake of delivering greater value to our customer base. I don't know if you heard the name Tim Ferriss. I listened to one of his podcasts, and I really liked the concept that he was talking about, where you don't want to have 1,000 of customers who like you. You want to have 100 who are crazy about you, who are crazy about the values that you deliver to them, whether it's equipment or service or reliability, whatever it is. If they're crazy about you, each of them will tell 100 without any efforts on your part. Yeah, and that is where it's so important to innovate, not only just in the technology, but also in every aspect of your business and the service. In these days, especially COVID situation has taught us the value of remote support, of bringing to the market systems with extended self-diagnostics capabilities. So I really see that in the future, we are well on that path. And everybody talks about IoT, Industry 4.0. And I remember, actually, again, it's something related to your company, to Salop. I remember talking to your finishing line manager and asking, what is it that we can do better for you? And he said, well, I don't mind paying for services or whatever. I just want to know, I want anybody, whether the machine or a person, to tell me before things go bad, to prevent me from having the downtime, from having a scramble. And again, with the restrictions on travel, with the restrictions on us this year being right there next to our customers in every situation, that just opened the horizon of innovation in the remote connectivity, remote support, and smart systems, which in time will tell operators how to run them better.
Absolutely. And when you talk about that remote support, so for example, in innovation really in the Internet of Things is more about data collection. So for example, if a filter is blocked, you change the filter. But if you knew a filter was going to be blocked within the next 4 hours, you could pencil in the downtime. And I think COVID has really taught us about that remote support and how systems have to catch up quite quickly. And if anything, over the last 6 months, I think that Nordson and lots of other companies have had that accelerated learning. And I think we will always be doing this sort of meeting. This will become the norm now, and the remote learning. I know Nordson, you've got some exciting ventures coming up with your training, and really it's about how we make the most of where we are now. And this is all technology. This remote learning, this remote managing of systems is all technology, and we've accelerated that since March, I guess.
Indeed, because we've just gotten accustomed to throwing ourselves personally, literally, on every grenade. Yeah. And now that we cannot do that, we realize, for example, that we used to have lab and demonstration facilities in nearly every country. Well, since all the borders have come down, all the companies in our industry consolidated these testing and demonstration capabilities in one location, wherever it is they are producing. But linked to those locations used to be also training centers. And it's really made me realize that when we had our lab in Manchester area, we used to at least twice a year do training seminars, inviting people to come in, bringing new operators or increasing the skill level of operators. And this is not there anymore. So we need to find ways to deliver the same value or better remotely, so that's where the training programs, and we will be rolling out a series of webinars for all kind of levels of skill and sophistication for finishers, for powder coaters in UK.
Fantastic. So, I mean, we will certainly be joining those webinars. That's a fantastic Nordson brand, really pushing the way that you can get that training out into the market very quickly. And lastly, as a worldwide company, Nordson, do you see Brexit, that's a big question, as a plus or a minus point for sales in the UK?
It is a difficult and interesting question. I can only give a depends answer. Because there are so many different dynamics happening right now. You start with the US-China trade war, COVID, Brexit. All of them will have some impact on global supply chain. And it's just so important that we, first of all, let's kick this COVID situation and get on the path of recovery in so many economies. And when we are on that path, it is of crucial importance to avoid as much as possible any trade barriers.
Yes.
We, as a capital goods company, we heavily rely on the overall level of economic activity in any given market. We manufacture in the United States and in Germany. So we have to bring equipment into the United Kingdom. So, but again, a number of years ago, before Brexit, there was a development in UK which said, let's make a commitment to getting back to a make economy.
Yes.
And reducing reliance on services and financial sector. And to me, that was really a fundamental shift. And we brought along a lot of hope. And it made this focus on the make sector of the economy. So if that continues, once we've passed this COVID situation, if this continues, and if it is supported, because I know you guys at Salab invested heavily into strengthening the apprenticeship programs.
Yes.
Yeah. So if the make sector of the economy is helped through government support or the different initiatives, if the skill level in the labor force is improved to bring to the market more engineers, more specialists in the manufacturing sector, and increase the level of apprenticeship in the industrial field, in the manufacturing skill. And then the other piece that will need to happen is the introduction of newer technologies in manufacturing, automation, because so much emphasis in modern manufacturing is on process control. So on the one hand, it's on our part, we deliver to our customers systems which offer the highest level of process control when powder coating or painting something, and you have some of this technology in your plant.
Yeah.
But additionally, as long as we're relying on a manual operator with a spray gun waving around, well, that's the biggest variable in the process.
Yes.
So now can we reduce the reliance of that small variables, increase the degree of automation? So if these three things make industry stronger labor force with higher, I visit many factories, and as an engineer myself, I always delight when I see people, the pride of craftsmanship in people. When I come to the plant and I see this person is really passionate about manufacturing, passionate about his business or the quality of products their company delivers. So this passion is certainly already there.
Yes.
Just need to make economy, strong labor force, next level of technology, and then I have only positive outlook for UK manufacturing.
Fantastic. And ending on that note, exactly as I feel, positive, UK manufacturing can conquer. Let's get stronger into 2021. Sergey, fantastic. Thank you for your time today, and we'll catch up soon.
Chris, I appreciate you inviting me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Catch up soon.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of another fantastic show. Thank you for watching. If you would like to get in touch with the show with a comment, a suggestion, or to appear on a future episode, please email us tv@mtd.media. So from me, Chris G @SDE, thank you for watching. See you next time.